More details are coming in about the alleged Danforth shooter, 29-year-old Faisal Hussein. Rescue efforts are underway for missing people after raging fires cause havoc in Greece. Traditional culture and competition celebrated at the 2018 Masters Indigenous Games. Humber News starts now.
I'm Taz Dhaliwal here at the newsroom at Humber's North Campus. It's July 25th. Here's what's making news. More details have surfaced about the background of the alleged Danforth shooter, Faisal Hussein. Investigations to determine how exactly Hussein obtained the gun are still pending, but a police source says he may have taken the gun from his older brother, Faisal Hussein, who was charged with possessing ammunition and cocaine in 2017 when he was pulled over by police. Sources close to Faisal say he was on a Toronto police watch list in 2010. Authorities have yet to confirm whether he died from a self-inflicted gun wound or from police shots. His family released a statement earlier this week that read the 29-year-old struggled with severe depression and psychosis his entire life. While details are continuing to emerge on the police investigation into the mass shooting on the Danforth, we are now learning more about the victims as well. Police have now just identified Julie Anna Kosis as a 10-year-old girl who was killed in the mass shooting in Toronto's Danforth neighborhood on Sunday. However, where along the Danforth Avenue strip Kosis was shot has not been made known at present. Her family has since asked for privacy during their time of grief. The Sunday shooting also claimed the life of 18-year-old Reese Fallon and injured 13 others. A memorial was left outside the fountain at Danforth and Logan Avenue to honor the victims. The 29-year-old gunman, identified Monday as Faisal Hussein, also died. The injured have gone to hospital with minor to life-altering injuries. Markham Mayor Frank Scarpetti gave a statement Tuesday evening following the shooting and expressed his heartfelt sentiments on the matter. Flags have since been set at half-mast at Markham Civic Center today in honor of Kosis. And tributes continue to pour in over social media as her identity has become known to the public. Malvern Collegiate held a small gathering yesterday for Reese Fallon, the 18-year-old who passed away in the Danforth shooting. I went to the school to speak to her teachers and other people who might have known her.
It was a quiet Tuesday morning at Malvern Collegiate in Scarborough where a vigil for Reese Fallon was held by fellow students and her teachers. They described the 18-year-old who was gunned down Sunday night on Danforth Avenue as being kind, welcoming, friendly, and extremely smart.
She was a leader among her peers, they say. But the Sunday night shooting in Greektown left 3, including the shooter, Fallon, and a 10-year-old girl, dead. 13 others were shot, Toronto police say.
The shooter, 29-year-old Faisal Hussein, died during a confrontation with Toronto police. The Special Investigations Unit is investigating whether he died by his own hand or by a police bullet, while homicide detectives work to unravel the mystery behind the motive. Fallon recently graduated from the high school and was about to begin a nursing program at McMaster University in September. Sherry Schwartz-Maltz, a spokesperson for the Toronto District School Board, told Humber News the school doors were open to students and teachers who may need a place to come together and grieve.
I was saying before that, you look at this building and it looks like a building, right? But a school is not just a building. A school is I call it like a hub with a heart, right? And the heartbeat is racing today, and everyone just needs to be together and hold each other and be supportive.
Her chemistry teacher, Mark Steele, spoke highly of Fallon and had nothing but good things to say about her. Steele, along with his wife Julie, set up a GoFundMe page to create a scholarship in her name.
We started a GoFundMe to get some money together for a scholarship for Malvern students to put in Reese's name and just sort of carry on her legacy and hopefully it will go to some worthy students in the future.
Fallon's schoolmate, 17-year-old Max Flath, came by to pay his respects. He says he saw her every day at school.
I didn't know her that well. Just like I did know she was a really nice person. She was a great person and stuff. I just didn't know her that well. But yeah, I definitely saw her every day. Like I knew she was a really great person.
Fallon's English teacher, Anthony Paris, says he taught her this past school year and describes her as a terrific student.
Reese was definitely one of those students who I remember as welcoming me. She was such a friendly, magnanimous student, benevolent, kind, very witty, extremely smart. I would say definitely a leader amongst her peers.
He also spoke of the positive attributes Fallon had.
She worked at Loblaws right down the street from where I lived, and I would see her there all the time. And I would tease her because she was a vegan who worked behind a meat counter. And that's the thing, is she also had an amazing sense of humor.
There has been an outpour of support from Reese's High School and the community, and with the new scholarship, her memory would live on forever. Trump's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, has gone from saying he would take a bullet for the president to dodging them. Cohen released an audio recording of himself and the president in which they can be heard discussing how to pay for the rights to Playboy model Karen McDougal's story about an alleged affair with Trump back in 2006.
When it comes time for the financing, which will be...
Listen, what financing?
We'll have to pay you. So
I'll pay the cash.
No. I got... No.
Hey, Don, how are you?
Cohen's lawyer, Lanny Davis, told CNN that he released the recording to dispute an assertion by Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. The tape would allegedly show that Trump made it clear that if there was going to be a payment, it should be done by check, which would be easily tracked. Giuliani said the payment was never made. The tape is among several audio recordings that were seized by the FBI in a raid of Cohen's home and office back in April. The Prime Minister of Greece has announced a 3-day mourning after a raging wildfire left 78 people dead. Rescue efforts are now underway to search for missing family members of those who survived the inferno. The fire started first in the Kanata region along the Aegean Sea, and ferocious winds caused the flames to spread over to the Marathon region. The wildfire has caused thick envelopes of smoke all around the country's capital, also preventing immediate rescue efforts. Residents in the coastal towns waded into the sea to protect themselves from the flames. Emergency services swooped in once the gale stopped, rescuing and relocating people from the affected areas.
It was just that, well, we were lucky to be so close to the seaside that we were able to go to the water, because on the beach, well, we wouldn't be here. It was really close, and we were kind of, let's say, trapped with the fire at that positioning.
Officials claim that around 180 people were injured due to the fire. Emergency services are now trying to clear up the debris left behind and locate missing people from under it. A second suicide bombing in Pakistan makes this year's elections one of the bloodiest in the country's history. At least 31 people were killed on Wednesday in a bombing outside a polling station on the outskirts of Quetta, Balochistan province's capital in Pakistan. This is the second attack after an earlier bombing that killed 150 people, including a provincial assembly candidate. Pakistanis are voting on Wednesday amid high security in a fiercely contested general election. A huge security operation was launched, and police and military personnel were out in force at polling stations across the country. This election could have given Pakistanis a chance to celebrate democracy. Instead, the campaign has been scarred by a series of attacks. With colleges set to open in fall, Ontario's government scrambles to find alternate housing for refugees. Last Tuesday, the new Minister of Border Security, Bill Blair, said the asylum seekers living in Humber College's dorms are set to be moved to hotels in the GTA. Over 800 asylum seekers are currently housed in colleges in Toronto. Immigration critic Michelle Rempel pressed the government on the refugees' housing, asking who would pay for and how long it would take.
How long do you anticipate that they were 100 people in hotels?
Immigration Minister Ahmed Hussein said helping refugees is an international obligation, and that is embedded in Canadian law. At the moment, there are 400 refugees living in Humber College's residences, and some of them are beginning to worry as the August 9th deadline gets closer. The 2018 Masters Indigenous Games were held at Downsview Park in Toronto this year, promoting the various cultures of Indigenous people worldwide. Bobby Mahalik has more.
The first Masters Indigenous Games celebrated not only athletes, but craftsmen as well. Mark Saul, an Indigenous chef, was one of them.
It's not only the corn, we have different teas, Labrador tea, cedar tea, mint tea, wintergreen tea. It's all natural stuff, and it's all good for you. And it's there, it's free, it's healthy, you know, they're usually full of vitamin C and stuff, so that's good. I mean, the only unhealthy thing I'm making is the fry bread.
Children and their parents played the drums while learning about Indigenous culture and stories. George J. Lepin, the chief instructor of Okichita Aboriginal Martial Arts, shared his story with Humber. He said he started learning his practice in the 1970s and is grateful he can still teach it today.
Yeah, and also you hit it right on the head. It's a point where we can actually share these experiences with people that may not even know that we do these types of activities. Mainstream sport are one thing. We're still participating in a lot of mainstream sport, but unique applications like this are quite a niche, right? And especially when you get into things like the Gunstock War Club and those types of indigenous weapons, they're very unique and they're much our own. So opportunities like this provide us a great platform to be able to share those experiences with people.
Though the sporting events may be the highlight of the Games for many, the Indigenous Games here in Toronto keep Indigenous culture alive for everyone to experience, see, and enjoy. I'm Bobby Mahalik, Humber News.
It was National Hot Dog Day last week, and Toronto was out celebrating it at Fancy Frank's. Humber's Catherine Cauchy joined the celebrations.
Free hot dogs, amazing music, and a selfie with the mayor. It was a cheerful Wednesday afternoon for hundreds at College Street. Fancy Frank celebrated National Hot Dog Day by giving away free hot dogs on a bun. Toronto Mayor John Tory served people their favorite summertime staple, and he did not forget to mention how he likes his hot dog.
Well, to me, just a good old fashioned, Wildfire Frank is my favorite. But then I'll venture off into the sort of truly exotic Italian sauces and stuff like that. But to me, it's more what you put on it. I like to put some mayo on it, with pickles, with some mustard, make it not too messy.
It was a great opportunity for the mayor to connect to the community.
Well, I try to find every opportunity I can to show support to the places I can to help them. Because, if you look at the essence of what the city is all about, is that we take care of people when they need things for their elderly, or they're in fact in the last stages of their life at the hospital. So it allows me to show my support.
Fancy Frank's has been celebrating the day for the past 6 years, and the organizers say it's really important to give back to the community.
It's important to give back to the community, so we picked National Hot Dog Day, which is a big event in the United States. We picked that day to give back to our community, free hot dogs, try to raise money for local charities.
In addition to devouring a free dog, the afternoon's festivities included music and kid-friendly fun. Catherine Cauchy, Humber News.
When we come back, we've got sports with the latest on the Toronto Blue Jays and more. Brandon Marone has our 3-day forecast. Stay with us.
Don't put your umbrellas away just yet because there's a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. The rest of the week looks nice and sunny. Stay tuned for the full 3-day forecast.